Welcome back, you filthy exiles. So, I'll plug this one just as I'm starting. You guys will have noticed that I have switched over to Twitch, and that's not without community feedback. I think I'll put a screenshot somewhere up. So the majority of everyone who watches the channel has voiced by public opinion that Twitch is the live streaming platform of choice. So I'm going to switch over to there for a bit, see how that goes. By all means, I'll put a link in the description. Give me a follow over there, and then yeah, we'll play some games, have some fun, and do what I do. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. Let's talk about what it's actually about. So I've finished managing to put together my Detonate dead, Volatile dead, Necromancer, and yeah, as you would have seen in the B-roll at the start, it's just ridiculous. I think I saw a comment where, oh, it's not as powerful as what it used to be. Bro, it is still ridiculously overpowered or powered, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, let's talk about what I did from last time to where it is now. So I'll just go into inventory. We'll talk through this first. Skill tree, no real changes, but anyway, let's get through it. So first of all, wand hasn't changed. Wand is exactly the same. Pretty much no changes here. Anything better than this wand is going to be 10 Exalt, and this wand is already expensive enough as it is at 26 Chaos. So, no, it's a little more than that. Waken POE trades is it's, yeah, probably paid close to like 2 Exalt for this one. So, wand isn't going to get any better at this stage. Helm, no improvement to the helm. I could divine it to 21%, but that's about it. That's all I would do. No change to Presence to Triula. I have given this a life and mana modifier with Fertile Catalyst. That's to get 24%, so you know, you get a larger ES pool. Shield, again, no changes to shield. Ring, completely new ring. Now, I will do a separate video on this, but I didn't actually know this. You can buy pre-veiled rings with your non-channeling skill modifiers or for Elrion drops and things like that. So to get that non-channeling skills of -7, you actually have to buy a pre-veiled ring or have a ring drop from Elrion in the Syndicate, and then basically you can get that craft yourself. But I'll do a video on that one explaining how you do that, which I didn't know until yesterday. So that was really cool. But anyway, it's now flammability on hit instead of elemental weakness on hit. It is moving my resistances from my belt. As you'll notice, I've got a different belt now. And then the 38% increased elemental damage from attack skills won't affect my damage, unfortunately. But that's just the breaks. So yeah, ring has changed, so that's an improvement. I did get a Circle of Anguish with a rarity roll. So we're actually rolling around with like 53% rarity, and I know everyone says, oh, quant is better than rarity, but rarity still plays a part into whether or not you get better item drops, not just volume of item drops. So I went with rarity, and obviously also percentage quality this to get the increased effect of fire damage and Herald of Ash buff effect up as well. That's using Catalyst as well, so that just pushed that up to that 70 and nearly 60%, because this is a high roll on the ring. Almost perfect roll in those respects. Almost, yeah, perfect roll across the board except for strength. Gloves, I have changed these as well. So I managed to get 161 ES gloves. These were not cheap. And I also managed to get strength and dexterity to roll on my gloves, so I could remove those points out of my tree, and that saved me 2 skill points in the tree. So huge advantage. No change to the chest piece. If I was going to change anything, I would literally get the 50% damage corrupt, but that's probably like a 30x item, and I don't have that sort of patience. And I've spent enough money on this build, so right now we're sitting at about probably 50, 60, 70x, depending on the market fluctuations, so it's expensive enough. Belt, completely new belt, and the reason why is I've moved my resistances to my ring now. But with the belt, I've actually got a high roll of energy shield. It's being catalyst qualityed as well. Percentage maximum energy shield, which is why we have the Crusader influence over it. 24% spell damage during any flask effect, and my flasks are always popping. And then 12% cooldown rate, which increases the volume of how quickly you spawn your volatile dead balls, which are these little MTX squid-looking things here. In this too, I've also got a Searching Eye with 8% to gain phasing, so I now have phasing in this build, so when I kill enemies I can phase. And 36% increased damage against Abyss monsters, which is nothing, and then just flat energy shield, which compensates and brings my ES up. So overall, a really, really good combination. Finally, boots. Boots were the most expensive. I think I paid like, yeah, 3 to 4 Exalt for these boots, and these actually have Aspect of the Spider, which I don't use, and you could very well use, but, you know, up to you whether or not you did want to use it. It does hinder enemies, but if you take Tempest Shield off and put Aspect of the Spider, the problem you then run is your block chance decreases, so there's a higher probability of getting one shot, because we still don't have very much physical damage reduction. So block is basically our best way to compensate for that. But anyway, so this has 213 energy shield, which is huge. Gives me Aspect of the Spider, which you don't need. I would not get that if you are looking at boots like this. And then I've got crafted on 12% to gain Onslaught for 4 seconds. So we have phasing and Onslaught in this build. This is not the best boots that you can get for this build. You can get way, way better. But these are pretty damn good boots for what I'm using them for. Outside of this, all the same flasking. I think I got a better Wise Oak and a better rolled Cinder Swallow. That was about it. And then jewels, I have switched everything out to Awaken support jewels. So Awaken Spell Cascade. It is really important to get Awaken Spell Cascade because the effect of support area of effect skills also affects area in front, behind, and each of sides. I don't believe you get the each of sides when you're running standard Spell Cascade. So it means you cast a lot more shit all at once, which is a lot better. You'll also notice that in the helm I now have Raise Spectre. So I rejigged this, so Immortal Call, Temper Shields down in the boots, Frenzy, Barrage, Attack Speed, which is almost level 20. I didn't really lose anything by switching a few gems out here, and I won't go into any detail, but the biggest change is the Spectres, and I'll cut the video here and I'll explain Spectres and why they're important. Okay, so Spectres. We'll notice this setting up in here, level 21 Spectres. You will see two very specific Spectres that you will need for this build. One being the Lithomancer, and the other being the Stoneskinned Flayer. Now, the reason why I'm running these two Spectres is for a couple of reasons, or mainly one reason, is these are two of the highest health scaling Spectres in the game, with the Lithomancer being 400% to life, and the Stoneskinned Flayer being 800% to life. Now you might be sort of asking the question, why is that important? Well, Detonate Dead's Corpse Explosion is based on 6%, or damage is based on 6% of corpses' maximum life. So the higher life that your corpses have when you desecrate, and once you trigger this, it will desecrate and it will cast whatever your active Spectre is, which is just the way that desecrate works. What that means is when the corpse explosions stack up, you get a much higher damage level with the corpse explosion from Detonate Dead than what you previously would have gotten with any other type of minion that's on the screen at the time. This is number one why you run Spectres. The Spectres really serve no other purpose. Like you could put, you know, something on them to, was it Meat Shield on them so that they taunt or something like that. But realistically, you don't have to do that. I don't do that. You could use them to take aggro from you, so you don't get you know, harassed by enemies or bosses. That's another defensive layer that you could apply with the with minion having these two Spectres, and these two Spectres basically don't die. So they don't do any damage, but they don't die, and they buff up your corpse explosion damage, which is significant. Which will be, if I decide to further this build, I'm going to take these two corpse life nodes, and this is going to increase the damage further. But anyway, that's the Spectres that we're running. Now, where do you get these particular Spectres from? They drop in one location, really easy to find. So they drop in Delve, and they drop in the Primeval Chambers, or in these columns. Literally, all you need to do is click on a Primeval Chamber, and just sort of move up until you find it, and then just cast the Spectre on it, and then Bob's your uncle, you're done. Make sure you remove any bone offering skills or anything like that so that they can't brick, and you'll see that they're all over the ground and they just explode natively. But yeah, that's pretty much the Spectres in this build. I know people put in the comments before, you're like, oh, Jorgen, you don't have any Spectres on this. No, I didn't have Spectres in the build before because I hadn't gotten to the stage of minting and maxing further, but I sure as fuck have Spectres now, and they amped up my damage significantly, which is great. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the minions in the build. So I'll talk through the last few tree changes and then we'll leave it at that. Alright, so tree changes. Not really anything to note. So number one, I got a better energy from within. Number two, pretty much the same thread of hope. I could get a better one with an implicit roll, but I'm not going to do that because I'm too lazy. I did remove the might and the agility nodes, and this is because I've now got the ring giving me, the gloves giving me strength and dex, so no longer need to waste those 2 points. You will note that I have taken away Wicked Ward, and I have now put on Ghost Reaver. The reason why is my leech rate is currently 2,545, further buffed up by Leech Mastery, and then I've also got 30 energy shield gained on hit from my my Watcher's Eye here as well, which is not, it's 4-5x Watcher's Eye. That's pretty much giving me the ability to almost face tank some of the hardest bosses in the game, or take those big hits. As long as I'm not taking too much damage, I'll survive. Outside of that, no other real changes to the tree. Oh, sorry, I did change out one other jewel. So I got a different Corrupted Blood jewel, which gave me Dex and Intelligence and maximum energy shield. Just price-wise, it was getting really expensive to get any other modifiers on that were meaningful. So I got Global Physical Damage, which does nothing to the build. But it is what it is. Outside of that, no other changes. Everything else is pretty much the same. And that's the build in a nutshell. No changes to Pantheon. MTX, still the same MTXs, except now I got Scourge wings. And yeah, that was totally worth it. Actually, they're pretty cool. They're some of the better wings in the game. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So anyway, if you've got any questions about the build, I'll put the POV in the description so you can follow along. You'll have seen it in live streams. I will be streaming and building a new build now because I'm completely bored with this build already. I'm almost level 95 with it. I'm actually working on a Inquisitor a fireball projectile Spellslinger Inquisitor, which I didn't think was possible until I built this tree. And then I realized that this tree is not so dissimilar to a tree that I could apply to that build as well. And that would be quite powerful and work just as well as this build, but completely different. And I also wanted to use the Dragon MTX for the fireballs because I think it's cool. But anyway, keep tuned for that. That'll probably be Christmas Day. We'll be leveling that character up. Most likely dressed as Santa Claus tomorrow. And drinking mead. The most classic of all the Viking drinks out there. But anyway, until next time, watch out for my live streams. Follow me on Twitch. And like and sub to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.